Is the Seoul subway song 2 true or false? Now you would be asking, well, wait, why would you write lyrics that are false? I'm not saying that's the case. This is just an excuse to elaborate on some of the truths in the video. I'll be discussing the lyrics specifically, not necessarily what you see in the video. And I will be evaluating the truth content of every line. So let's get going.
I've been in Seoul a while.
False. Well, kinda true. I phrase this deliberately as I've been in Seoul a while, not I've lived in Seoul a while, because I'm not living in Seoul anymore. I moved out of Seoul 4 years ago and I live in Anyang. However, I do frequently go to Seoul. I think I've always worked in Seoul, so I have been in Seoul a while. So this is me phrasing in a way where I'm not lying exactly. So I guess if you interpret this to mean I've lived, it's not technically true. I did live in Seoul for a long time, but not right now.
Before the days of Gangnam Style.
True! Gangnam Style came out in 2012 and I first came to Korea in 2005 and I've been living and working here since 2007.
I'm not on top of dramas or pop.
True! I think I've watched exactly 1.5 dramas. That would be all of Winter Sonata and half of The Heirs. If I've watched any others, I've forgotten. And I wouldn't say I'm really on top of K-pop. I'm familiar with a lot of K-pop and I guess the groups and the music, but I often don't really know what's new.
I'm a Seoul Metropolitan Subway file.
Mixed! I don't really do the things that true train maniacs do, like I don't own model trains, I don't go to the first day that a line opens, although I do think I have some cred among the train maniac community. After all, I've made now 2 high-effort music videos that help celebrate and popularize the things that they love.
It's the ride of choice for me.
True! I prefer taking the subway over buses. I almost never take taxis. Don't have a car. Just kidding, ladies, I have a car.
It goes anywhere I want to be.
Maybe true. If we're talking about the Seoul city limits, there is a subway stop at pretty much all the major hotspots, any major destination that people want to go to. And even if there isn't, you can usually walk from a subway station to where you're going within 20 minutes. A lot of subway stations you can walk from one to the other in less than 20 minutes. But if we're talking outside the Seoul city limits, yeah, you're gonna need a bus or a taxi.
From the DMC to the DDP.
True! You can take the subway from the DMC to the DDP, you're going to need to transfer at least once. I considered writing this lyric from the GMP to the DDP. GMP is the abbreviation for Gimpo Airport, but nobody really knows it as GMP. You might see it on your airline ticket. I did think it would be interesting because you can just take line 5 from Gimpo Airport to the DDP, and Gimpo Airport is not in Gimpo. Gimpo Airport is in Seoul, the limit, the western limit of Seoul.
Check the app or the map and see.
True! The app I featured here is the Seoul Metro Dota app. I don't personally use subway maps because I know where I'm going. I guess that's part of my subway file cred.
Lines 1, 3, 4 go north and south.
True! You can see it on screen. They cross the Han River from north to south.
Line 2 loops Seoul in a roundabout.
True! There are 2 little extensions on the sides, but pretty much everyone uses the circular part. I don't know if anybody rides it in a complete circle. I would hope not.
Going west and east, 5, 6, 7, 9.
True! Again, you can see that they cross the city west and east.
And 8 over there, it's fine.
Mixed! I mean, line 8 is kind of like the Eastern Seoul equivalent of the Incheon subway lines. I'm rarely in Incheon, so I don't ride the Incheon lines. For that reason, I don't really ride line 8 because it doesn't really connect anywhere that I'm going or coming from. You might be wondering, why did I only cover lines 1 through 9 when there are obviously so many other subway lines in Seoul? This was a major thing that I was thinking of before writing the lyrics because there have been so many new subway lines and there are so many extensions and changes of station names and all the stuff. And also, if you look at the original Seoul subway song, the entire second half is a list. And I didn't want that kind of list to take up too much room in this song. So this was a concern I expressed to Seoul Metro when we met for the first time and we were planning out what we're going to do. And they said to me, please just focus on lines 1 through 9. And there's a very good reason for this. It's because Seoul Metro operates only lines 1 through 9 and I think one additional line. It would just be a lot easier to focus on lines 1 through 9 and to also match the colors of those lines. And this also helped for filming the video because Seoul Metro only operates stations and platforms on lines 1 through 9, I could get permission to film at those stations and on those platforms. They do not operate every station and platform on lines 1 through 9. For example, they only operate 10 stations on line 1. The major station like Yongsan Station, That's operated by Korail. Anyway, Seoul Metro's request to focus on those lines simplified the whole issue for me. I'm sorry if I neglected your favorite subway line, but I had to draw the line somewhere.
Tap in! Pay the base fee by card.
True, you don't only have to pay by card, the chip on your phone also counts, but in general your credit card or the climate card is the way to pay.
Tap out! Little distance added charge.
True. I try to emphasize this point that you kind of need to tap in and tap out. I think this is intuitive when riding the subway. I think a lot of people first time in Korea might not get that you need to tap out when you get off a bus. And like buses and subways use the same transportation like tap in tap out system because you can transfer for free usually. And yes, the fee that you pay is based on a certain distance that you travel. I think the upper limit isn't that much.
But if you've gone to run to the John, you can tap back in and take the train you were on.
True, to a certain extent. I couldn't cram everything into the lyrics that I wanted, and as you can see in the Korean subtitles, I do say that you can tap back in for free, which is the point I wanted to make. You are allowed a 15-minute grace period after you tap out one time that you can tap back in for free. If you're using the climate card, it doesn't matter because that's an unlimited ride card, so.
There's automatic gates and automatic doors, and the train's so clean you can eat off the floor.
True! When I was looking to film the automatic doors, most trains these days have no doors in between trains. I guess it's becoming less and less common, so by the time this comes out, the automatic door thing could be false. Unless we're talking about the automatic doors to get into the train, in which case, true. Automatic gates, mostly true. There are still the metal turnstiles that you have to physically push, but I would say there are definitely more automatic gates than not. As for the cleanliness, I don't recommend lying down on the floor, but yeah, the trains are like incredibly clean. And also there is a service where if you know something like particularly dirty that should be cleaned up right away, there is a number on the trains that you can call and you tell them like what station you're about to get to, and they'll send somebody to get on the train at that station and clean it up right away.
If the heated seat's open, don't be willing, I'ma toast my seat while I'm totally chilling.
True, there are heated seats and they are quite nice in the winter. By the way, this is the only time I mentioned the mascot's name, Dota. I had the sort of pun, Dotally.
Monitors, Wi-Fi, air ventilation.
True. I don't know if there are monitors on every single train, but every single modern train, there are either monitors above the doors or in the middle of the train. There's Wi-Fi on most trains, not on every train, or like sometimes not on every car, sometimes it's weaker, but if you walk down the train, I'm sure you can find Wi-Fi. It's convenient. And there is good ventilation, and in the summer, pretty good air conditioning on the trains.
Screen doors up and down every station.
True. I think now every single station in Seoul City Limits has screen doors. The screen doors are good for keeping garbage from going into the tracks, trains from kicking up garbage onto the platform, to limit the noise of the trains coming, and also to prevent like the air pollution from inside the tunnels. The only problem with the screen doors is it makes filming the trains coming less visually appealing because you get the reflection from the screen doors. Outside Seoul City Limits, there are still a lot of screen doors. Not all of them. You can find stations without any screen doors, but I think they're still adding more and more.
But I'm of the mind this fine sign shines by arriving right on time.
True, but worded in a kind of ambiguous way. Seoul subways have an incredible record for being on time compared to subway systems in other cities and other countries. I can't say that there's never delays, of course there are delays, but like relatively, I think Seoul subway has a pretty good record for being on time. It's good by being on time, not that it is good because it's always on time, because that's not true, but it is very often on time. That's a good thing.
What makes commuting a space to unwind?
Inapplicable. That is a rhetorical question, and a question is neither true nor false.
What makes the rush hour less of a grind?
Inapplicable, for the same reason.
Plan for your transfer and get in the swing.
Inapplicable. That is an imperative statement, which is also neither true nor false.
Seoul subway's coming and subway's my thing. Hey!
Mixed. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, you are on a subway platform and the train might be coming. More likely you are at home or walking somewhere, maybe on a bus. In which case, I'm sorry for lying about the Seoul subway coming. It's not.
You heard the facts I'm saying.
True. At least I hope it's true. I hope you haven't just skipped ahead to this part in the video. In which case, why?
On the tracks that I've been laying.
True. This is a pun. To lay tracks means to write lyrics or rap or put down words lyrically. It also means to put down train tracks, which I'm not doing, but at least one of the meanings is true.
But for city moving, we keep improving. This ain't no game we're playing.
True. Despite what you see on the screen, the game there, we're not playing it. Also, I say for city moving, move the city is the Seoul Metro slogan. I think it's pretty good. Like, it sounds natural English and it's evocative. It makes you feel without literally meaning anything, which is, I think, good for a slogan.
Cause all the stations are getting smart, with detailed info on every part. You can search the levels from top to bottom.
True, the smart station technology is being rolled out across Seoul stations. What you see here is just a demonstration of them. You can see like all the details of the facility. It's mostly for officers in the stations, but it would be nice if people could, use this to see where they need to go or something.
So your eyes find the prize. Got him.
True, I got him.
Banpo stations making games with the place for maniacs for trains.
True, Banpo Station does have this cool Train Maniac station. In the background you can see like the history of the trains. Near Gosok Bus Terminal, it's like a 15-minute walk to Banpo Station. I recommend checking it out. It's open Tuesdays through Saturdays.
The subterranean expanse of Noksapyeong is decked in plants.
Mixed. What you see here is mostly the extent of the plants that you see at Noksapyeong Station. The very next scene is also Noksapyeong Station.
Every city station meets the need for vertical mobility.
True, every single station within Seoul city limits has at least one elevator from the street to the station, and I'm pretty sure almost every station has elevators from the station to the platforms.
But when Subway saw one, Michael say, if he saw the subways of today.
Inapplicable. A rhetorical question is neither true nor false.
The policy for quality perseveres because the train keeps rolling after 50 years.
True. As of recording this video and as of releasing the Seoul Subway Song 2, it has been 51 years since the Seoul subways began. At that time, neither Seoul Metro nor KoRail existed. They had different names, and over time they have gone through different iterations and mergers and stuff like that. The Seoul subway system as we know it began 51 years ago. It would have been nice if I released this for the 50th anniversary, but I did not know about it at the time.
When the sweet soul music pulls up in my ears, I get soothed by the groove and I move to tears.
False. I do not cry every time I hear the transfer jingle.
If chroma globes or nonospheres cause you mild concern or unusual fear, that'll disappear. Because the train is here.
False. Chroma globes and nonary spheres is a reference to the circular 1 through 9 multicolored symbols. Nonary is a word referring to 9 or the quantity of 9. If for some reason you have a fear of the number 9 or multicolored spheres, I don't think a train approaching is going to solve that for you. Also, I cannot guarantee that the train is here as you're listening to this song, and I think most likely it is not.
What transportation won't leave you behind?
Inapplicable. A rhetorical question is neither true nor false.
What uses travel with urban design?
Inapplicable. Again, for the same reason.
Buses got pluses if that's how you swing.
True. Buses do have pluses. As I said earlier, they can take you to certain locations that the train does not service, especially outside of Seoul. In some cases in Seoul, buses might be a little faster. Not during rush hour. Don't take a bus during rush hour.
I'll take the subway, cause subway's my thing.
True! I will take the subway, and subway is my thing, and I will take it for that reason. So that is an analysis of the truth value of the lyrics. Next up, I'm going to be doing a retrospective of the original Seoul Subway song to see whether those lyrics are still true. It will be interesting to see how well they hold up, so check that out.